Okay, the next question. This year we have seen tremendous unrest in Ukraine, and while this may have clear implications for Eastern Europe, some are unclear on the potential impact in the U.S. Is he posing a threat to the United States, and how, if at all, should the U.S. respond to this ongoing situation? And begin with Tom.
We need to divert Putin's interest. He wants to rebuild the USSR. That's what he really wants. And so he is trying. We have to realize that Ukraine, for many years, was a part of the Soviet Union. There are a lot of Russian-speaking people in the Ukraine, and we think that we have to fix everything in the world. We can't. We've got a war going on over here in Israel. We've got another one going in Syria. We've got one going in Iraq, and there's one about to get going in Ukraine. And we can handle all this. We can't handle all. What we need, and the Hawks would never agree to this, we need a coalition with the Russians. The Russians have the largest standing army in the world. We spend more money on military systems than all of the rest of the world combined. It is a natural coalition for us to operate with the Russians. I would remind you that it was the Russians who stepped in and got those chemical weapons taken out of Syria. The Russians can be worked with, and I would, for one, and you can call me nutty if you want to, I would call up, if I were president, I'd call up Putin and I'd say, would you like to take our place in Afghanistan? If you would, we've got some equipment over there. We'll give you, and we'll be just very happy to see you move in. So we need to divert the Russians' attention. Now, as far as the conflict itself between Ukraine and the Soviet Union, Russia, we wouldn't stand if Mexico joined the Warsaw Pact. We wouldn't stand for it. All right, and that's exactly what we've been pushing for the Ukraine. I sympathize with those people in Ukraine, but they're going to have to work out their own problems. They have tremendous economic problems there too. Somebody's got to step up with several $1 billion.
All right. Well, Mark, Ukraine posing a threat to the United States? No.
Certainly it is. I guess my question is so the national policy, security policy that Tom is proposing is that we form a coalition with Russia. I don't understand that. And here has been a Cold War threat. Here is a president who said after the election I could be a lot more flexible. And what we're seeing is that Putin understands that he is a KGB guy. He knows how to negotiate. He knows that we won't call his bluff. So here's how we do it without boots on the ground. And the answer is really not sanctions, because sanctions take way too long to do and they don't have the impact. The answer is liquefied natural gas. And what happens is we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions at the same time exporting liquefied natural gas from here, get all the old Soviet bloc countries off of their reliance on Russia, because that's really how they have the power. He knows that he can turn off the spigot any day to Germany or to the Ukraine or to Hungary or to Estonia or any of the others. Let me tell you, our allies are worried. I've talked to many of them. They said, he's coming after us. First it was Crimea, now it's eastern Ukraine. He said he could take Kiev in 2 weeks. He is a real threat. The only way to get him without shedding blood is to do it economically. When Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down these walls, it was 2 things. One, we had a strong military and they knew that we could do what we needed to do. The other was economic. We spent them into the ground. They didn't have the economic capability to continue on. We need to go after his economy. If we start and mean it about exporting liquefied natural gas, the price of oil comes down. If it gets down to $70 a barrel, he has an economic problem and he withdraws.
Do you believe we've got 1 minute economic policy could help?
How much time do I have? With due respect to my friend Mark, what a line of bull. The impetus behind liquefied natural gas is to make money for companies that want to export gas from fracking in the United States to some customer. And they found one in Ukraine. That's what's behind it. The rest is nonsense. What we need to do is to learn how to get along with other countries in the world that do not have governments like ours and do not share our ideologies. We can work with Putin. It was shown in Syria that we could work with him. We need to pursue such avenues, and we're not going to, because people like Mark and the Republicans and the Hawks regard Putin still in the Cold War frame of reference, and that's gone. It's a new age. Okay?
Mark, would your plan in the threat of fracking be a concern?
You know, really, when we look at fracking, this is not a fracking issue. We've got a 500-year supply of natural gas. 500 years. More, twice as many as we've been here in existence. And if we start to tap that, instead of flaring off a lot of it, if we start to export it, we would do two things. We would make the environmental support of Tom very happy, because we would reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The EPA even said that. We've reduced greenhouse gas emissions by over 5% because of the transfer from coal to natural gas. So what's wrong with that? Let's get them off of Russian oil onto the United States liquefied natural gas and make some money in the process and put people back to work.
We're going to move to domestic
Well,
politics.
is making money wrong, Tom?
No.